we are going live with the latest in the Corvusberg Chronicles. We are playing a live solo AD&D campaign. We're doing it together. Is it really solo if we're together? I don't know. Today is September 25th in the year of our Lord 2023. And when we do this, when we go live, let's take care of a little bit of business first. Tomorrow, the man, the myth, the legend, B-Dub 1776 is going on Ryan Howard's Rolling Bones. Yep, check in. Sound off like you got a pair down in the chat. B-Dubs, Rolling Bones, tomorrow. I think it's like 8:30 Central Time. You're going to want to see that. I kind of, you know, I'm a little regretful. I should have had B-Dubs on first. He's a great guy. He's got a lot of great ideas. But I didn't for two reasons. One, I'm not... oops. There's really no excuse for it. And two, B-Dubs, he kind of scares me. He's a little intimidating. He's one of those rare breed of guys that when he talks, I shut up because he's a smart fella. And I don't know, we talk on Twitter all the time, so I don't know. But mostly, oops, I should have had him on. But he's going on to talk to Ryan Howard, and Ryan Howard is a gifted interviewer. And you're really going to want to tune in because I've learned so much about this game and life in general from B-Dubs. However, I taught him everything he knew, so it's going to be kind of like me 2.0 when you're over there listening to Brian Howard. The other thing I should point out, Gelatinous Rube has another video on running the Grand Campaign. It should be wrapping up right about now. Make sure you go watch that either now and come back to this video, or when you're done here, kick on over to Gelatinous Rube. Great guy. Heck of a voice, passes the physiognomy test and everything. And for those of you that are playing D&D with other people, if you're not doing weird little solo games, go check it out. Today's the 25th. When we do this, the first thing we got to check is the calendar. And I have a calendar here that shows us who is coming available when. Holy Man comes available on the 21st. Meh Average on the 23rd. So everybody's healthy, but recall in our last video, let's see, this is insert name here. Oh, let me check in with who all's here. Simon Hogwood and Charles Latora checking in from SoCal. Pirate MF. Oh man, we got the elites in the house today, man. It's gonna be good. You guys are gonna be slapping me around for all my little mistakes, I can tell. Insert name here. This is for all you new people. I only have one rule: everyone fights, no one quits. Do you want to live forever, you dirty apes? You can't do your job, I'll shoot you myself. Solo RPG guy, saw the title, stopping by to collect my cut. Evening friends from, and you look at me dinging people for typos. Typos are my specialty. Sar Bombadil is in the house. Boots of yellow, blue jacket. All right, now here's the deal. In our last episode, let's take a look at the other timeline we got here. In our last episode, nobody died. We still have our 10 OG party. We cleared the moneylender barrow, and the next available. And then after they got home and rested up, actually it was after they got home. They took a day and a half to get there. They delved for a day. It was a day and a half back, so it was 5 days. They're really not available on the 27th. But Mr. Wargaming, I thought you said that if they're still on adventure, then they're not available, and they're not. You gotta Wednesday. Okay, just stop. All right. Remember that one-to-one campaigning, and that's one of the principles we're trying to illuminate here. One-to-one gaming just says that the calendar for the campaign proceeds at the same pace as the real world. If you are using the principles that we are showing here at your table, and you sit down on a Monday with your regular crew, and they've got guys that are wounded and they're not available until Wednesday, then I hope you have some backup characters. Okay, that's true, but also, nobody ever said you can't advance the calendar as far as you want. All that one-to-one time means is that sooner or later, you have to pay the debt. You've got to catch up, you've got to collect. So we are technically moving ahead 2 days ahead of the existing calendar. All that means is we're setting out on the 27th of September. And this is really important. I got to do this today because I don't know what the rest of my week looks like. We have certain challenges here at the channel, right? That we're trying to pick a wide mix, both our Aussie bros and our Kiwi bros and our Asia bros can join in the fun, and so can our East Coast bros and our Britbong bros. So we mix it up a little bit, and life is complicated. So, enough excuses. The point is, we can advance the calendar as long as we want, okay? But we got to pay for it somehow. And at some point, if you're like 3 weeks ahead of schedule, you're just going to say, you know what, we know what they are, we know they're locked out. So that's going to be the order of the day today. And one of the reasons that I'm concerned about this, and I want to move ahead a little bit here, is let's take a look. Our calendar is says, we've only got, bring that back out here so I can count, because reading is fundamental. Let's see. Remember that on the 1st of the month, we have to pay our 100 gold. We've got 4 days of adventure to come up with 100 gold pieces. It's 100 gold per level, per PC. And we're not pooling our loot here. So if we take a look, Holy Man has got it covered, right? We're not worried about Holy Man. We're not worried about Bianca. That's our thief. She's got 141. Ronnie Dio, Dinky Rizzle, and Morcar the Mundane, they've all got over 100. We're doing good. We're actually cruising along. It's here on the fighters where we run into a little bit of trouble. Oh man, Meh average, he's only got 10 left over. All right, loot, we've only got 105. Swolgar Beefman, let's remind ourselves, he's the fellow with the broadsword and the big ups when it comes to the 1874 strength. He's 7 gold away. Sir Argoth Hammerfist, one of our paladins, he's okay, but Jeff Capes, our other paladin, also. So we've only got 4 days to come up with 7 gold. We got 10 PCs, that's 70 gold. Not so worried about the XP. It's a bit of a grind, but I don't know why people call it a grind. A grind is a thing that you're like, you gotta go after it. We're having a good time. I like going a little slower. Jack Kingsbury says we're screwed. Well, we may be. Well, let's see if we are. Let's see if we can overcome this challenge. If the thief doesn't have enough money to pay the bills, the thief gets fired and becomes a fighting hireling instead. Well, let's talk about that. What happens if we get through these 4 days and Jeff doesn't have the scratch? Well, they're out of the campaign. Fundamentally, rules is written once a month. You got to pay your 100 gold upkeep. And this is why we don't worry about nickel and diming are you staying at a fancy inn or a bad inn or whatever? If the clock ticks over, the calendar ticks over to October, and Jeff is still sitting on 93 gold, well, let's take a look at some hireling stuff here, just real quick, to see what that means as far as he doesn't have what it takes. He can't pay the tuition to the Adventurers Academy. So what if we were to hire standard hirelings? Here we go. If you have what do we got here? Not a link boy. A tailor makes 2 silver pieces a day. All right. Now, bearer porter, this is just your general like laborer. He makes a silver a day. Let's call it 2 silver per day for your general middle class, like lower middle class lifestyle. That means every gold piece you got in your pocket can cover your expenses for 5 days. With 100 gold pieces, that's 500 days. That's a year and a half. You ain't got to work. That ain't bad. So really what's happened here is Jeff Capes came out here with his fortune. He had some adventure. He got some experience. He's a military contractor. He takes his now 93 loot. I think he winds up losing, but he goes back home and says to his family, hey guys, I'm ready to, be a productive member of civilized society. I had my fun on the frontier, and now I'm back. Really, that's all it means. Doesn't mean that they lost. It doesn't mean necessarily that they failed. They just invested. Didn't quite work. So we're going to put them out of the campaign. Now, Rex Kramer says, hey, just treat their bills like student loans to delay their payment. Yeah, that's good, Rex. What we could do is we could say, you're making student loan payments. That means you'll have it all paid off. Never. Usury is a sin. We ain't doing that here. Ugh, gross. We just looted the Temple of the Moneylenders. You know what I'm saying? Time to go to Las Vegas, baby, says Christopher Sebald. Gotta remind you guys. And that's good. I like the jokes. Keep them coming, guys. You guys are great. There is a casino in the back of this book. We're not going to use that, though. Let's take a look at where we're located, and let's take a look at what our options are. We're out here on the frontier. Civilization is basically a 5-day hike away from this little village of 200 people. If we wanted to hike, if we wanted to go to the casino in the next biggest town over, we'd be out of the campaign for 5 days over, a day to lose our money. Now we got nothing, or even to make more money, and then it's 5. This is not the adventuring that we're trying to do. And there's remember, we don't do things for one reason here in the House of Wargaming. We're working on a whole different level, and then another level on top of that, and another level on top of that. We're doing so much stuff. We're teaching you guys how to change your mindset from the conventional style of D&D. And you know, I'm not judging here. If you like the conventional style where you decide what's gonna happen, and then you roll these, and then if what you decided was gonna happen didn't happen, you just like do this. Right? There's literally the rest of YouTube for that. Okay? We're doing something a little bit more fun here. We are setting ourselves goals, and if we fail at those goals, 100 gold pieces a month, then we don't say, well, we'll just change the rules so that we got our trophy. Instead, what we do is set ourselves a goal, and if we fail, we learn from the mistake. We dust ourselves off, and we try again. And it's okay if Jeff fails, all right? We lose our paladin, but we've learned a valuable lesson, and we just roll up another paladin. Well, we roll up another character. I got 3 guys in the wings for when, you know, we're hurting, because we've only got 5 fighters, and man, they aren't good. So here's our standard. When we go out, let's cover that first. Here's the question. You guys in chat need to tell me, what are we doing? We have 2 options here, all right? We cleared out the barrel of the money lenders. That's right here. And if we look at this, this is our home hex, and here's our little village, and this is a 24-mile hex, so it's about 12 miles to get to there, and then it's about another, and this is what it looks like in hex format, right? So you got to mark 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're on the road, so you can move a little quicker. Our guys, we got a couple of donkeys with us. And our guys are moving kind of slow because our cleric is heavily armored. He's got scale mail. We want to earn enough money to upgrade that to chain so we can move a little quicker. He's kind of dead weight at this point. If it wasn't for the heal spell, I don't know what we would even have him for it. Anywho, we got a day on the road, and then we have this is the dungeon that we haven't actually entered yet. This is the Ligmatic Cloister of the Bofa Hearts. These are the Bofa Heart Mountains over here. We got a day of hiking on the road. We got a day through the hills, and then basically half a day to get to the dungeon here in the mountains. What that means is we've got to check twice at 1 and 12 for encounters, 3 times at 1 and 10, and then another time at 1 and 10. We got a lot of chances for wilderness encounters, which are very deadly. Alternatively, so that's option 1, guys. Do we hit the Ligmatic? That cleared out barrel is on the way to the next dungeon, right? Not really. If you take a look, the barrel's up here. It's off the road. And we've looked for another dungeon. We've tried to explore. We've explored these hexes and found there's no dungeons in there. At some point, we can go look through these hexes and see if there's a dungeon. There's some forested hexes. Then we can go up here into the... Well, there's probably none in the pastures. Basically, we cut this hex in half. And the eastern half is dangerous, and the western half, that's where the villagers patrol, and it's relatively safe, right? So this is their game woods, this is their pastures and farmlands. So this is really the only place where we might find a closer dungeon. The question is, do we wander around here and risk a wilderness encounter, which we are not equipped for? Or do we go hit... Oh, I got to go back one. Now, while you guys discuss that in the chat, so there's our 2 options. Do we hit the cloister, or do we wander the wilds? Those are our choices. What do you want to do? I'm going to leave it up to you guys. While you discuss that, I want to point something out. I have made, last time we talked about how hitting those wilderness random encounters has altered our, here we are on the hills, this is our standard random encounter check. We've got wolves, halflings, berserkers. We ran into some berserkers. Wargs and wolves, right? This is why we call this whole area the Wolflands, Cloister. What do we got here? Now, because we've done some exploring, our mystery of what's out there has condensed. The probability is collapsing down to a hard and fast world. Instead of all of these possibilities in the wilderness encounters in the back of the DMG, instead of all of these, it's in here somewhere. Instead of all of these, we checked and we find that it's just these. And now that we've had a couple of encounters, we have an even more limited set. All right, so I said, well, maybe we should revise this. And it occurred to me, no, we can't revise this because our hills chart is for this hex, and this hex, and this hex, and this hex. But we've only explored basically these 2 hexes a little bit. So what we need to do is define how our lived experience has altered the odds and helped define the world down. And it occurred to me, well, I have a hex map right here. I've been pointing at it this whole video. So in light of that, I've created this random encounter chart that is exclusive to hex, what is it? Which hex number is this? I didn't write it down yet. It's hex like 6-3, I want to say. Hex 612. Yeah, it's the eastern half of hex 6-2. So let me write that down here. This is hex 6,2 in what do you call that? A Cartesian coordinates. And so to refine that, I said, well, look, for the oddballs, for snake eyes and boxcars, we're going to stick with the anything is possible. We're going to roll on the standard hill chart for the DMG, or the dealer's choice table, which is where I select, look, we got to have dragons and giants and a loose treasure. Alternately, on a result of a 6, 7, or 8, these are the most common results on 2d6, we will re-encounter what we've already encountered, either a large pack of wargs, or the berserkers, or Big Owen, the giant cave bear. Slightly less likely is our roll on the campaign map, so we will continue to use that same random encounter chart for hills, but only if we roll a 3 through 5. And then likewise for 9 and 10 and 11, we'll roll on the woods or on the mountains, and everybody is shouting cloister. So to review what that means and to just kind of establish the odds, we talked about that a little bit. Once again, trying to play the game as by the rules as we can, you take a look at how often you are likely to encounter things in the wilderness. And I don't really want to go through this every single video, but repetition is the key to education after all. So if you go to your terrain chart and you are moving at a given speed, if you're in the hills, you check at noon. Now we're going to be in the plains for a little bit of this, and we don't start checking until we get to the eastern half of this, and we're on the road. So on this first couple of hexes is free, and then we're going to start checking here. So there's basically 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes where we can move at a really good pace, and then we camp on the road. See the little skull? That's where our previous party got TPK'd. Then we have a day of walking through the hills, and if you take a look at the speed, we're really only going to be making about 10 miles a day. And then in the mountains, it's even harder. Now, bear in mind, in the mountains, we are kind of exploring. We're looking for the cloister. There is, a little bit of a spoiler alert, there was a cloister here. There was some kind of road prepared for building materials and supplies. Christopher Sebald asks, is there a caravan going east? An excellent question. And this is kind of the standard road. It's a village of 200 people. There's probably caravans, and there's probably a thing that we could think about in the future. But for today, we're walking along the road, and for this first day, we are going to be in the hills, and we're going to be checking noon, night, and then pre-dawn for our camp. But chances, because we're in civilized land, are 1 in 12 that we actually have an encounter. And at that, there's a 50-50 chance that the encounter is with a friendly patrol. So we really only have like a 1 in 24 chance in these first 3 of having any kind of a hostile encounter. Let's go ahead and roll those first. Just get them out of the way. We're looking for a 1. So 1, 2, and 3. Bear in mind, we got to do this on the way back, right? Insert name here says, we could always just engage in a little light larceny. We're not bandits. We got 2 paladins in our party. It's not going to happen. All right, so we camped overnight. We woke up in the dawn, and now we got to walk through the hills. And as I said, we're going to have, so pre-dawn was by the road. That's the 1 in 12. Now we're going to check at noon, and at night, we're off the road. We're out of the moderate to sparse. We're into the uninhabited wilderness, where the odds of an encounter increase. So at noon, we get a 5, and then we get a 6. So we have 1 more check to make, and that's in the mountains the next day. Look at the mountains, you check in the morning and at night. Curiously enough, there's only 2 chances for encounters in the mountains as opposed to 3 in the hills. So you are less likely to encounter baddies in the mountains. We roll the 1 in 10 and hope we don't get a 1. Okay. So we have our wilderness encounter. That might not be an issue. We wake up in camp. We'll zoom in a little bit. So we wake up at our camp here, and we have a little safe, and then we have our little morning check somewhere within a couple of miles of the Ligmatic Cloister, and we have to find out what it is. We are in the mountains, so we have to roll on the mountain random encounter check, which I don't have flagged, so that's to bear in mind. We're in temperate and subtropical. We've been kind of hand-waving weather, all right? As soon as you can, make a fort near the dungeon. You know, Jack, that's a great point. Somebody pointed out, you've got, in this hex over here, right here, look, you've got a dungeon that you cleared. Fortify it. I would love to do that, but we're not there yet for a couple of reasons. Our guys don't have enough money. We're just trying to get that score. We need a big enough haul. If you have a fort, you have to pay for the food for the fort. You have to hire guys to guard it. You have to pay for food for the guys. That is an expensive proposition. We are absolutely going to be doing that. I suspect that we'll build some kind of a camp somewhere in this area here so we can run back and forth, but we need the funds to be able to strike out on our own, okay? So that's a great thought. We're getting there. It's just not time for that yet. So we are encountering on a 54, we are in the temperate area and we are in the mountains, and on a result of a 54, we are going to encounter, it's going to be right here, men merchants. Wait, is that right? Men merchant? Oh, I know what that means. That means something very strange for us. As we do. Now, merchants is going to be interesting. Let's take a look at the men, and then we ran into... So you guys that were asking, are there any merchants nearby? Merchants are, as the name implies, traders in goods and like merchandise. And like merchandise, these traders travel in caravans, pack animals or wagons. There are 50 to 300 of them. They are neutral. Intelligence, mean, very to high. Oh, that's good. We like that. There are 50 to 100 merchants working their way through. So what I'm going to say, possible free money here. Yeah, Ogma, possible free money. 5 to 30, 5 to 300. So that's going to be 5d6. There's going to be 20, 60, 120, 160, 100, 200. Yeah, so we've got 200 merchants that we're encountering, and they're going to be armed with stuff like this, and all the leaders' guards will be. For every 50, there's a 10% chance. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Only 10% of any band of merchants will actually be tradesmen. 10% will be drovers. The balance of the party will be mercenary guards. Oh boy! So, time to start jotting down some notes here. We've got a caravan that's got 20 merchants, 20 drovers, and 160 guards. The guards will be led by a fighter of 6 to 11. I've got 10 first level guys here. This is not a combat encounter. With the lieutenant, the leaders will have 12 guards of second level. For every 50 persons, there is a 10% chance for magic user. See, for every 50 persons in the caravan, so we got a 40% chance, and on a 12, we hit it. There is a magic user of 6th to 8th level. There's a 5% chance, so there's a 20% chance, 61, no clerics. And then there's a 15% chance per 50, so that's a 60% chance there is, so they've also got a thief. With 1 to 4 lesser thieves. Yeah, okay. They'll have various sorts of treasure. The merchants will always be mounted on very swift light horses, so they can get away from us. They're not going to be intimidated by us. But what do we do when we have an encounter? Well, the first thing we do is say, did we surprise them? No. Did they surprise us? No. No surprises. So our paladins are going to step up and take the lead. And our paladins, recall, have a, I gave the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie a chance, and there's a paladin in it. He is the most boring character. And I'm like, that's what you think a 17 charisma is? Oh, it's like absolutely blank, devoid of all personality. It was an embarrassment, to be honest with you. I feel bad for everyone involved with that movie, including me for watching. It's not a terrible movie. It's just like, it's the worst kind of movie. It's just mediocre. Yeah. Anyway, bear in mind, with our Charisma 17, let's throw Jeff Capes at him. This might be his last hurrah. One of the benefits of running one character at a time is you can cram all this stuff on a page. With a 17 Charisma, we're playing on easy level. We get a plus 30% to our reaction. Gotta go. Thanks for checking in, though, man. Appreciate it there. I missed it. I appreciate it. Tag 11080. Show some leg. No, I show hands only. You gotta. That's on my OnlyFans. Good luck finding it, because it doesn't exist. Where are we at? Combat. That's where we start with our. See, I got a little pink flag up here. So let's take a look. We got plus 30% on our reaction chart. We'll see what they think of us. And I am going somewhere with this. Just bear with me. I don't want to spoil it first. I want to find out what they think of us. When you do combat, they give you. Gary's so smart. He gives us the morale check. No, that's morale. Where's our encounters? I guess I need to flag this one too, don't I? It's not morale. I know it's in here somewhere. Surprise. All right, fine. I'll go to the table of contents. I have it only hands. I have the best commenters. Where are we at? Melee, combat, reaction, morale, melee, non-combat, blah, 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 blah. Character spells. Henchman, loyalty, that's not it. The adventure. Where? I should know this. I use it every time. I should have this one flagged. Non-lethal and weaponless combat, combat tables, progression, experience, the campaign, monster. Anybody? What? Yeah, I know. I should just flag every page because I'm trying to use every page. Did any of you goofs know where the? Is it in? It's probably in a table, right? Reaction. I don't know, is it under reaction? No. Reputed magical properties. Ooh, that can be good. Non-lethal. I feel like it should be right here. Surprise? Encounter reactions. It is right there. 61. Page 61. There we go. Determine if both encounter combat. But I thought it was close. Determine distance. We are going to parlay. I guess we should roll for initiative to see if we get to talk. Oh, there it is. It's that little table right there. So who has the initiative? I don't know. We get a 4 and they get a 6, but it's not a combat, right? They're gonna go first and stand off. We have to figure out how far away they are. That's good. Let's do that. This is interesting. Encounter distance. If either party is surprised, encounter distance is determined. Well, it's 4d6 is the short answer. Normal encounter distance is 6d4. Ah, geez, 64. But there's something to this where if you... Oh. No, scrub forest and marsh. It's the standard unless you're in scrub forest or marsh. Ah, boo, whore. I'm disappointed. I wanted to show you guys how that works when you're in an unusual place. But I didn't. Okay, so we have to roll 64 to find out how far away we are. I thought it was 46, but it's 64. So it's going to be 30, 70, 100, 130, 150, 190 yards. So we got time for a hail and well met fellow, and then we advance each slowly, and then Jeff steps up and says, hey, yo, what's up? What's up? And our encounter reaction check is going to be a 94, 124. They are enthusiastically friendly, immediate acceptance. Now, we could trade with them, but they don't really have anything we want to buy. But now here's part of the fun of the solo gaming is, why are these guys up here? Right? Can the party get any information from them about the area threats? Yes, they can. And I want to show you the information that they can get. But to do that, let's see, John Miller is DMing 1E right now and trying to use as many of the rules as I can, including for encounters, reactions, distance. These videos are great tutorials and refreshers. Thank you, John. I find I have to refresh myself all the time. All right, Rex Kramer says, can we get information? And we can. And we're going to talk to the guys, and we're going to say, wait, why is a party of 200 marching through this mountains? And they say, oh, you don't know about the secret pass? Oh, we got to tell you about the secret pass. It turns out there is a road, and the reason that the Ligmatic Cloister is where it is that there is a road that is largely overgrown, and it goes right to the Ligmatic Cloister. So what this encounter has done, by rolling huge on the table, and I think we know where we want to put our fort now. There's an old overgrown road that we can like hack away the underbrush and expose, and now we have, look at that, we have a road that takes us right to the Ligmatic Cloister. These guys are probably clearing their way through, and that road goes somewhere north too, and we're going to call this the Lost Road, okay? But the point is that it turns out that there is, well, I guess we could call it the Lost Pass. The Lost Pass, we'll just call it that for right now. And the reason I know that's there, because some of you may have, if you're quick on the pause button, you'll know that when we get to the Ligmatic Cloister, that there's already a road there. And this is the part of the adventure where we kick over to Appendix A. We're going to start rolling for a dungeon here shortly, but I wanted to show you one of the things I did to save a little bit of time. And oh no, zero prep. Oh, I've been exposed for the zero prep hypocrite that I am. This comes to us from Dyson's Dodecahedron. This is the surface level map, and as you can see, there's a little bridge, and it turns out that it takes you to the Cloister of the Beaufort. I guess the road must wind around, and it follows this little stream, and the Lost Pass road is down here somewhere because we have a little collapsed bridge. Now, why did I search for an appropriate cloister style map for the surface? Wait, aren't you doing everything random? Well, I am, and this doesn't really mean anything at this point because we have to take a look at Appendix A and how random dungeons work. Now, fortunately, that I do have flagged, and as I have to, where's my Appendix A flag? I had it flagged. I think my flag. No, it's just further back than I thought. Okay. So, Appendix A. Yeah, no, it's just my flag bent over. There it is. It's green. Let us refresh ourselves on the rules. The upper level above the dungeon in which the adventure... Oh, God, let me get closer. In which the adventures are to take place should be completely planned out. It's a good idea to use the outdoor encounter matrix to see what lives there. A staircase discovered later just might lead into the midst of whatever it is. Wait. Use the encounter matrix to see... I don't have an encounter matrix yet there, right? Oh, Jack Kingsbury, what does ligmatic mean? Are you asking me... Hey, chat. So somebody is asking me what's a ligma. It's the Beaufort Mountains. Just look up ligma. Maybe not on Urban Dictionary. And if you think that's gross, somebody named one of our backup. I looked it up. We have 3 backup fighters. They named it Kopi Luwak, and I didn't know what that was, but it sounded suspicious, so I Googled it. It's poop coffee. Like, it's coffee. It's literal poop coffee. You guys are disgusting. I might change that, because I can't say that name without... That's just gross. Anyway, we need to have the top level mapped out. So, hey, look at that. We've mapped out the top level, and we have to decide where the entrance to the dungeon is. Ligmatic, to define those who are past the ligma disease, used to insult people who sympathizes cancerous YouTubes. Oh, is that what it is? It has to do with sports which involve both dribbling and sometimes kicking, says Cyric. Solo RPG guy. Yeah, those of you that have the ligma disease. All right. It's I guess we should we name the pass? Should we name this the D's Nuts Road? This is the D's Nuts Road. Oh wait, it's I gotta get this spelled right just to keep with the theme. It's the DEEZNUTZ. It's the D's Nuts Road. Okay. D's Nuts Road takes you past the Ligmatic Cloister, and it takes you through the Beaufort Mountains. Are we done? Are we done? Can we be adults for a little while now? Here's the question. We're going to spend the day searching for the entrance to the underground. This effectively amounts to looking for a secret door. All right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to leave meh average as our guard. He's keeping watch, okay? Here, I guess this is a second floor, like an archway. So he doesn't get a roll, but everybody else does. And I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to do secret door checks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places where a secret door could be found. And 1, 2, found it in 2. Everybody's searching for like 10 minutes, and Sir Argoth Hammerfist finds the entrance to the dungeon is, oh my gosh, look how perfect this is. Do you see this little crevasse here? This is the entrance to the dungeon. Now, oh, dungeon, there we go. This is our mega dungeon. This is the dungeon that will have multiple levels. We're going to run it using Appendix A. We are 35 minutes into the session, and I still haven't found any gold. But we haven't died. We got that going for us. Rules as written. Let's class it up, guys. These nuts turnpike. It will be a turnpike by the time we're done. Maybe we will reinforce the ruins of the cloister and start charging caravans tolls to get through. We have a flight of stairs, and I'm going to roll a d4 to see which way they go. 1, 2, 3, 4. On a 3, they're going to be going 1, 2, 3 down. Always start the dungeon in the center of the page. So there's our stairs leading down. And this time, because it is a mega dungeon, the stairs always lead into a room. I guess the little crevasse it opened up because the stairs are there. Don't worry about it. All right, just don't overthink it. I want to get to the good stuff. Which one of these are we going to use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to roll a d10. We're going to divide by 2. And whichever one we roll, that's going to be our entryway. So divide that by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And our stairs are going to take us into a little, it looks a little something like this. So I got to flip that. Oh, wait, but we're going this way. So our opening is going to be 30 feet this way. While I sketch this out, for those of you that are interested, I have cleaned up the map for the temple, the lost barrow of the moneylenders, and I've posted it at johnmollison.com. So you can take your friendly, oh, it's, you know what, I goofed up already. It's 20 by 20. So that goes another 10 this way. So you can take your table through that little adventure of the moneylenders. If anybody gives you any heat over it, say, oh, it's just some guy on YouTube I found. That comes up like this, and then we have, so the nice thing about this dungeon is that we have lots and lots of opportunities. Discretion must prevail at all times, Gary tells us, but the only hard and fast rule we have is that when we get to the edge of the paper, we stop. It's a dead end. That's all there is to it. And then somewhere in here, there'll be another flight of stairs down. This is our entrance, and I better write that down. Now, the reason that we needed to, I think it's important to mention, the reason we needed to know what's going on at the surface is that if we find a flight of stairs up, then we're going to need to be able to go back to this to find out where the other entrance is. It does have, so the dungeon extends in this direction, and we're going to be underwater here, which is interesting. If we find a flight of stairs and we open it, but like if we find a flight of stairs here, it's 12 boxes over and 6 boxes up, then we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 12 over, and we'll know that there's a second entrance to the dungeon here. Does that make sense? So we're going up, there's a chance that we may be able to find another, maybe there's a cave entrance in over here that we can find. But what I really like about this is we have a total, let's count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 passages. So if we run into a couple of dead ends, we still have plenty of opportunity to trace back our steps and adventure. In the dungeon, this is the way we proceed through the dungeon. Bianca is our thief scout. We've got our 2 paladins over here on the right wing. We've got our 2 fighters on the left. And then we've got our wizards. Ronnie has the torch. They last for 6 turns. Dinky and Morcar are our boom boom wizards, and Ho Lehman is our armored and slow tank of a cleric who is defending the rear, and it can move up to cast his heal spell. And we're finally After 40 minutes, man, this might be a long one. I'm glad I boxed everybody out today. We're finally able to start to explore. Well, we already did kind of explore here. This is an empty room, and we got to figure out which way we want to go. I'm inclined to leave the doors as is. James Cheney from the dungeon, testing from Texas. We hear you, brother. Was this dungeon also constructed by Count These Nuts? Count These Nuts. I love it. It's a cloister, right? So it's a lost monastery. And we should probably talk about religion in this campaign. For now, there are two religions. The good religion is the solar sky daddy, and the bad religion is the obese earth mother, because that's the cycle that we have, that the solar sky daddy supplants the gross and distended belly of the obese earth mother. What do we do? Periodic check. Hi, Mike D. Starting with a D20. Hey, we're going into the dungeon. We've got our order set. We've got the light. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. By the way, the wizard who's carrying the torch has a light spell ready to pop off. Our other two wizards have a... bring those sheets into play here. We've got Ronnie Dio with the magic missile and Morcar the Mundane with the shocking grasp. First room, rolling a 10. We'll start slow and we'll speed up as we go along. Side passage. Oh, I didn't say which way we're going. I got to re-roll that. We're just going to go ahead and turn to the right and go this way first. Re-rolling. Number 9 is a side passage. Table 3 tells me that we've got an 11. The passage tees 30 feet down the way. And we are moving at speed of 60 feet per turn. The dungeon tees 30 feet each way. 10, 20, 30. And then let's see if these two passages connect up, all right? There's no... Am I missing anything on that one? Doesn't look like it. Good evening from the East Coast. Michael Collins, welcome aboard. We're going to go down this way, as I said. 11, we have a side passage. And that side passage is going to be a parallel passage. What do we got here? So on a 9, go to table 3. Oh no, we turn left 90 degrees. And that's going to be a side passage that looks like this. Left 90 degrees takes us 10, 20, 30. So that's one turn. This is our second turn of exploration. Remember that as we go, the movement is slow. But that's because we're checking for traps and we're being very cautious and we're mapping. And then we got to see. So that was a side passage. And this goes 30 feet further on. Okay. What does that mean here? Does this connect? Now, discretion could prevail. But I'm going to wait, and I'm going to see what happens when we come this way. If this passage continues 30 feet, there may be a one-way door here. There may be a secret door. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and see what happens when I go this way. On a result of a 6, I get a side passage. Wow. Check again in 30 feet. So oh, wait a minute. So we have that side passage. We check there. Right here. This side passage is going to be a 4-way intersection. 1, 2, and we just go 30 feet in each direction. 1, 2, 3, and like so. That's our 30 minutes into the dungeon. And then we have a periodic check. We're checking this way. We're building quite the maze. On a 13, the passage turns. Table 13. Passage turns. See table 4. Check width on table 3. What? Oh, okay. I haven't been doing this. I didn't see that you have to also check the passage width. Okay, well, we've already boxed these out. The passage turns, and we got to check our passage width, and it's just 10 feet. All right, so I don't feel too bad about that. And then we have to see how it turns. Our side passage is going to be an X. If present passage is horizontal vertical, it forms a 5th passage. Now what we have is a passage that goes 30 feet this way and 30 feet this way will well, I mean, I don't know yet. This, boy, it's an X, right? So normally you would draw it like this. We're gonna cap it right there. That's gonna be our cap. And then so this is all filled in, and this is filled in. And then we come back this way and we check to see what happens at the end of that 30 feet. With a result of a 12, the passage turns. Check on table 4. We have a right curve 45 degrees ahead. So it butts into this passage, and here's where discretion must prevail. Now we're here and we have to check in 30 feet. Now, the discretion must prevail can only take you so far as a solo wargamer. The question is, which of these passages continues ahead 30 feet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one proceeds another 30 feet, and this is what our little junction looks like. Oh, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this will be our 6th. Do we have an encounter? Wandering monsters. On a result of a 1, we do. All right, so we are here, and Bianca is ahead, and before I know who it is, I want to find out, are we surprised on a 1? We are not. Is the enemy surprised? On a 1, they are. So we have some time to prepare for this. Bianca can slide back out of she's only 30 feet ahead, mind you. She's at the edge of vision. She says, oh, somebody's coming. Who is it? From out of the darkness appears... Now, because this is a wandering monster check, we have to go to this table here that says we are on the first level of the dungeon. So we roll a d20, and on a 1 through 16, and on a 20, we encounter a level 3. So instead of, this is something most people miss, you don't automatically roll on the level of the dungeon that you're on for the random table. You have to check first. And we hit the 20, which means jackpot. We have to roll on the monster level 3. Something has come climbing up from the 3rd level of the dungeon, and fortunately we have surprise. So we have to roll to see what it is. And with a result of a 53, it's going to be a were-rat. 2 to 5 were-rats. 4 were-rats. The encounter distance... What are we doing, guys? Are we going to fight 4 were-rats? We have no silver. Starting to look like a Dave Arneson dungeon. Yeah, Tannisberg's little cousin. Combat. How far away are they? Well, if we check the rules, determine if both parties are surprised, determine distance if unknown between the parties. The distance is going to be, when an encounter occurs, it's d6 plus 4, subject to some modifiers. Line of sight, noise, actual area. They're 90 feet away when Bianca catches sight of them. We are absolutely 100% going to run away. We are going to be able to go whoop, 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 whoop. We can move it. I think it's 5 times speed. Just tuned in. Hi from North Poland. But I will write down the fact that we encountered 4 were-rats. Right here. Because now we know there's were-rats in the dungeon. And just like on the surface world, as our possibility of things occurs here in the dungeon, things that occur are more likely to occur in the future. The chaos of the uncertain future is now condensing and collapsing down into the order of the world. So just by exploring this cave, we're creating it, we're locking it in, and we're reducing the chaos in our campaign world. So we run as far away as we can get. Whoop, 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 whoop. And that is, on turn number 7, we can move 300 feet, or 30 of our little boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 20. So we get to about here. Let's go in the complete opposite direction, okay? Does the party have cheese and a massive mousetrap on the donkey? That's a good point. One of the things to be aware of is I only brought a week's worth of food. The fact that we spent 2.5 days getting here, we're going to spend the rest of the day adventuring, and then we've really got to hustle to get back in time. That may become important on our trip back to town. Today is the 29th. We have to see this through, guys. We don't have an opportunity to get enough gold for our boys to survive if we don't hit a payoff. And I've already, this is already illustrating one of the great things about random play. Our small little dungeon that we went through first, the Moneylenders, was a small little dungeon. It was a little weird, a lot of tiny little rooms carved out of the soil of a hill. This one is really more of a maze dungeon. Even with chance involved, you will find certain trends start to appear. Let's see if the maze continues to show its ugly head, or if we can actually get some unguarded treasure, which is ultimately what we're looking for. We want unguarded treasure. We're going this way, as I said. No, let's go this way. Let's see if we can just cut off this section of the dungeon. And on a result of a 13, we got passage turns. Check 30 feet after leaving on this table. All right, so we got to find out, first of all, the passage width is going to be 17. We got a 30-foot wide passage, and it's going to be moving in a 9. It's going to curve left 45 degrees ahead, right here. So our passage looks a little something like this, and then we have to check. We tick off 1 of our 6, and on a 17, we get stairs. Oh, this is our first stairs. How exciting is this? Don't forget, says the chat, to reduce the number of enemies for level 1. Last thing on 174. Stephen Wukowitz, that's a great point. On page 174, Gary says, it doesn't really matter though. He does say greater monsters on a higher level will have the numbers reduced by 1 for each level of the dungeon. In other words, we rolled for 4 were-rats, but they're level 3, so we subtract 2 from that, so there would only be 2 were-rats. Good catch, thank you for that. Likewise, if you get goblins, like if you are on level 4 and somehow you hit goblins, you are going to like quadruple the number that are present. So in this manner, we do kind of keep the level of the challenge appropriate to the level of the dungeon. Were-rats, with no magic items, with no silver, I mean, we got a cleric, but we're still no match for 2 were-rats. Heck, we could hardly beat 2 troglodytes. You think I'm going up against lycanthropes? I don't think so. Stairs. We have to check a new table. We haven't rolled on this one yet. It's a big corridor here. We're almost out of room, and it says when you roll for stairs, this is table VI or table 6. I'm using Roman numerals, which, hey, let me just check that off. I thought about Rome today. We got to roll to see what these stairs do. D20, natural 20. They go up 1, then down 2 with a chamber at the end. All right. So they go what? Okay, this is fun. So we're gonna have our stairs go up 1. There's a small landing, and then they go. So there's a chance that the passage goes beneath this, which would be really fun if the dice work out. And then we go down to level 2. Down. Oh, I can't write. I need a pen. Oh, that stinks. 2. Oh boy, 2. Oh, there's like a glossy here to protect your stairs down. I'm just gonna do like this. Down to level 2, right? So we go up 1 and then down 2, and I guess we're deep enough. If we look at our surface map, when you don't have magic or silver, the were-rats will end you. Yeah. So we can actually figure this out now. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then down 2 more. So if we go down 100 feet from, remember, this is where our starting point was. We go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then over this way, another 100 feet. That means there's another outbuilding over here with, wait, no. Does this little landing here equate to something? Is there like a little guard building that this is at ground level? If they go up 1, would that not take you? That's what I'm asking, Hugh Jans. If we go up, I think there's a building here at ground level, and we found another entrance to the dungeon. It's about 100 feet. I think it's off this map here. I'm going to put ruined stairs that go to level 2 and level 1. And I may need to expand this map, but that's just kind of remind me what we got here. Make it a freak barrow hill. Give them an above ground level. Oh, that could be good too. The only thing is that these stairs, because they go up 1 and then down 2, they do come up to the surface level, but then they dive back down to level 2. So what that means is when we level up, we have a direct path down to level 2, which will pay off huge dividends later on, but doesn't do us much good today. We are going to go down and check. So we did that one. That's 2. We're going to come to this passage. We're looking for money, and we don't want to challenge any level 2 boys yet. We're back to our standard roll. Trick or trap. Passage continues. Check again in 30 feet. So this is our trap, and then the passage continues another 30 feet. The trick or trap is going to be on table 7. Table 7, trick or trap. We have another d20 roll. Remember, Bianca is in the lead. We roll a 9, and there's a 20 by 20 foot elevator room, descends 1 level, and will not ascend for 30 turns. What? Okay. So right here, we have, I gotta offset this a little bit. We have a 20 by 20 foot elevator room. I guess it looks a little, I guess 20 feet is 2 squares, isn't it? Let me try that again. Ba-dum. Elevator, and it descends how many levels? It says, let me double check that, just make sure I get it right. Number 9, descends 1 level. Okay, elevator, trap, elevator to level 2. So we have a 20 by 20 foot pit that opens up. But here's where things get complicated. Remember we said Bianca is 30 feet ahead. I've seen some slow elevators in my time, but that's ridiculous. Must be, the chat's talking about their gyms and where they work out, which is, we strongly approve. So Bianca's in the lead, and she encounters this 20 by 20 foot room, and it's trapped. This could be bad for Bianca. We might lose our thief here, guys. We have to make our first, as a solo wargamer, we got to talk about, we're not going to roll dice and then decide what they mean. This is one of those cases of, we need to figure out what we're rolling for. Our thief has a find traps 20% chance. So if we roll under 20, she will recognize the trap for what it is. She'll step back and say, hold on, guys. I've seen this in my extensive travels. We don't want to go in here unless and until we're ready to go down to level 2. I should point out, I can now get out a page and start my level 2 map because I know there's stairs here, and I know there's an elevator trap that will lead you to here. But that's for later. What happens if I roll higher than 20? This is an elevator. If I roll higher than 20, she fails to find it, and she's going to trigger the trap, which means she descends for 30 turns. That's 5 hours. I rolled a 67. Bianca drops down 1 level to level 2. So we're going to split the party at this point. 30 turns. She has no light. She's going to hunker down and wait. I have to make 5 wandering monster checks. If I roll a single 1, she dies. She gets eaten by a grue. Otherwise, she's going to have to blindly find her way back to the stairs, okay? Instantly, she is eaten by a grue. And because this is an elevator, I don't know what's going on over here. Sorry, Bianca, we hardly knew you. Them's the breaks, kid. You know what you were getting into. So Bianca dies. Boy, it didn't take long. I guess the were-rats probably saw us coming a mile away, right? Our first death All right, Bianca. I'm going to draw a little skull here just to remind myself. Eaten by a grue. We'll never know what it was that ate her and took her 141 gold. Oh, man. We should... You know, if we went to these stairs and found our way to this point, you know, if we hear her scream, ah! If we go down to level 2, we could get her gold and her stuff, and that would meet our requirements. Is that kind of bloodthirsty, guys? We would hit our quota for the day. Let me grab a piece of graph paper here. And the stairs always start in the center of the page. That means our stairs to level 2 are going to start somewhere right about here. And it's a 30-foot wide flight of stairs that goes 45 degrees. Something like this. Okay, so I'm going to draw our stairs something like this. And then this is level 1. And if we count, and it might be a little bit off here, but it's only 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So there's our 4.5. This is the elevator room right here down to level 2. And I don't know where the exits are. So, this could be fun. Bianca and her 141 gold are right there. But the only way to find it, we're going in the wrong direction. If only those stairs were facing this way, I think I would risk it for that biscuit. Living off a dead friend? No, that's we're going to take her remains with us and see that they're properly buried. That's all. We're doing the Lord's work there, guys. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to explore. I just don't trust level 2. I'm sorry, but I think we'd get... And the stairs are facing the wrong direction. It's too high a chance. We got to work our way back around, I don't know. Well, that was 1. That was 2. So I marked that off. I still want to avoid those were-rats. Let's go this way. I don't want to bash down any doors just yet. So we're going to check on our periodic check. Rolling a d20. With the result of a 7, we get... Side pass... Man, what is... This is Side Passage Central. When we get back to town, we dump the paladins and get some leg breakers. Yeah, I'm assuming that this is... Because it's a trap, it's not like just the floor drops out and we could drop a rope to her. It's like a legitimate... The whole thing drops down like an elevator and it blocks the passage for 30 turns. That may come in handy for us. Like, we may be able to take advantage of that to... Well, if we can find a way... Oh, I don't know how we find a way across this. Like, if we could lure somebody in there, we could trap them for 30 turns and get away. But we have a side passage right here, and that's what I'm rolling on. Width first. With the result of 11, it's going to be a 10-foot passage, and the side passage goes right curve, 45 degrees ahead. Check again in 10, 20, 30 feet. Something like that. Checking again, and that was our 3rd. This is our 4th. And on a result of a 6, we have a side passage. Oh. No, that was a side passage, not a... Yeah, that was not a turn in the passage. It's 30 feet like this. Yeah, and then this one is another side passage. 8, this one is 10 feet wide, and with the result of a 15, it's going to be the passage wise. So it'll go something like this. 30 feet in each direction. And we'll check here. And after this check, we have to do a random encounter. And look at that! Wouldn't you know it, we have a side passage. I'm astonished. That side passage is going to be 10 feet wide, and it's going to go left 90 degrees. So it's going to go, 20 feet like this. And then that, since I can't draw, this is the edge of my map. I'm just not going to worry about. These 3 boxes don't exist because of the tape. Side passage, dead end there, so there's possibility that's nothing. And we go 30 feet down, and now we have to check for random encounters. Nothing. So that we've been down here for 2 hours. We're going to check and see where this passage takes us. On a result of a 1, we continue straight, check again in 60 feet. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So now we are underneath our little building here. And on a result of a 4, we have a door. We roll to see where that door is. On a result of a 20, it is straight ahead. Wait, oh man, what? 6, so we're into the, it has to, Apparently there's a second, there's a door at the end of the hall here. Well, that's awkward. What's beyond the door? A chamber, and the chamber is a 10 by 10 foot room with, what does it say? So we rolled 10 by 10. It's a chamber. 13 means that it is, our exits are, it's very tiny. So with a 13 we have 0 exits, I think. Bring this here so you can see what I'm looking at here. We had a chamber with a number of, wait, the chambers, is chambers a different one? Unusual size, number of exits. I guess rooms and chambers are the same thing. So for up to 600, we rolled a 13, up to 1600, we got 0. Check once per 10 feet for secret doors. On a 1, there's a trap door above. And 6, there's not. So that is just a dead end. There's a door. Oh, I forgot to roll to see if we bashed it in. Yeah, on a 2, we bashed it in a 10 by 10 foot room. But I still haven't figured out what's inside that dead end room. We have to find out what the chamber or room contents are. We roll on this table right here. With a result of a 2, it's empty. Okay, no problem. So that was our, let's see, we did 1, 2, 3 to get back. And now we're going to go back and check this passage here. And with a result of a 20, we have another chamber. Ooh, spicy. Periodic check. On a result of a 20, we have wandering monster. Check again immediately to see what lies ahead, so the direction of the monster's approach can be determined. All right. So once again, we have a 6, and that means we have a side passage. Check again in 30 feet. This corridor butts up against that corridor. And, oh, we gotta check for the side passage. On a 4, we have a turn right 90 degrees. And it dead ends there. And we have encountered a monster. Now, we don't have our thief ahead of us. We gotta find out what happens here. And there's a process for this. If the exit is located in another area. Now, this is technically the exit location. This is technically under the number of exits for a room, but I think this is probably pretty good advice for all of the time. The passage here is going to be a secret door on a 1 through 5, a one-way door, or is a one-way door in the opposite direction half the time, okay? So, in other words, rolling here on a 12, that one is going to be a one-way door going this way. And this one is going to be a one-way door on a 16, it's going to be a one-way door going this way. So now we have to check. So these little arrows mean they're one-way doors. I guess these are illusionary walls, and the wandering monster has come through this illusionary door. Our encounter distance is going to be just 20 feet. As we come down and we check this out, and we're poking around in here, our wandering monster, and wandering monsters are bad, by the way, because if you encounter a monster in its room, you get automatic treasure. But our wandering monsters are not going to have as much loot. We're just not hitting the big ones today, guys. I'm getting nervous, man. Although, the good news is we don't have to find 70 gold pieces anymore. We just need to find 63 gold pieces. And that's one less share of the experience points. So we got to go back to our chart, which says which level of the dungeon are we on. And on a result of 11, we roll on the first level of the dungeon. And on a result of a 17, first level of the dungeon is a dwarf. Hey! 4 to 14 dwarves. I love it. That's going to be D5 plus 9, right? Or is it D10 plus 4? No, because it's got to be plus 3, whatever it is. It's going to be a D11 plus 3. Wait. It's going to be 2d7. Wait, 4. Hot. What? Thanks, Gary. Not helpful. Bro, those dwarves did hard time. Watch out. Your thief is below you, not ahead. Right, that's what I'm saying. Without the thief, we don't have nearly as much advance notice. I guess I'm going to roll d4 and add 10, I guess. Does that work? Or, no, I got it. 2d6 plus 2. 4, 6. We've 8 dwarves. Achievement unlocked. There are dwarves in this world. They are going to be d6 plus 40. Well, I guess, I don't know, I'm checking. 120 feet away. We've bumped into them. They've been waiting for us. Maybe they were afraid of us. Let's find out. We have to go to our reaction check. Did we surprise them? Did they surprise us? They surprised us. We're like, bah, bah, bah. And so they get to go first. And this could be a problem. So 10 dwarves. Let me write this on some scrap paper. 10 dwarves. And I don't want to fight these guys. I like dwarves. This will determine how, like, this is going to set the record for dwarves in this world. If they are hostile, and we looked this up, it's on page 61, then dwarves in this world will be hostile. The good news is, we got a paladin in the front rank. So we are at plus 30. Just analyzing this, there's no chance these guys are hostile, right? We are definitely talking to them. And I guess uncertain, but 55% prone towards negative. So on a 1 to 15, we're going to have to kind of roll again. We get a 76, which says they are friendly, immediate action. Oh, so they say, hey guys, we're your friends. This is good. We're not going to avoid. So we say to them, hey, can you tell us what's in this direction? And what we'll do, because they've been exploring too, so brief encounter. Remember, we're solo wargamers. We're not going to get into the whole, like, yeah, don't ask them for directions to Moria. Then they're not going to be happy with us. Oh, no, they'd be very happy with us. Oh, yeah, go to Moria, fellas. There's somebody waiting there with a very warm welcome for you. Fools of a took. Here's what I'm going to do. They're going to tell us, we're going to take 3 rolls, and this is the benefit of high charisma, and then they'll go about their way. We like dwarves. Dwarves like us, generally positive. They're going to give us advance notice of 3 rolls. They'll tell us what they found, because I guess they're just passing through. And this is not traveling now. We're still here, chawing, sharing some smokes, and we're on Smoko while the DM figures this out. There's a side passage. What is going on? I'm going mental here. There's only a 20% chance that you have side passages, and I have hit it like 9 times out of 10 now. It's 10 feet across, and it is a side passage that goes right 45 degrees behind. So it cuts back this way for 30 feet. There's our first roll. Actually, let's do 4, because that gives us 2 in either direction, all right? And then up in this direction is going to be 6. It's going to be a side passage. It's 20 feet, and with a result of a 5, it goes 45 degrees ahead, like so. So 20 feet will look something like this. And the passage continues another 30 feet on from there. And so we did 1, 2, and then we got to roll to see what's present right here with a result of a 7. It's a side passage that is 10 feet, and it goes, the passage tees right here. So it cuts back into this passage. And, let's see. How does this work when it tees off of the 45? I guess it comes like this, and we go 30 feet that way. So the dwarves say, yeah, this place it must be a former mine or something. Let's find out what this door does. On a result of a 2, it's a secret door, which we have not found yet. It looks like a dead end to us. And now we know that there's just lots and lots of side passages. Well, hey, that's great. That burns our 20. Well, we found them, we talked to them, and then we advance our slowly to here. And let's, what do you think, guys? Should we see what's down here first, just because It's probably going to be something dumb. It's probably going to be a massive chamber. So let's ignore that for now. Let's go to here and find out where this takes us. Periodic check. 3. Oh, it's not a side passage. It's a door. It's a door. Where's the location of the door? 8. It says door. See table 2. Check again immediately unless the door is straight ahead. So on a result of an 8, we have a door on the right, and we have to figure out, so that goes right here. And then we have to check and see what's beyond the door. On a 14, there's going to be a chamber. It says check again immediately unless the door is straight ahead, which it's not. Okay. So there's a chamber just beyond this door. And that chamber is going to be of a size. Oh, it's going to be a big one. It's 40 by 60. So let's go. Let's put ourselves back on the 45-degree path, all right? Or better yet, how about something like that, huh? 40 by 60. It's going to look 50, 60. It's going to be a big one. It's going to look like that. But we got to figure out how many exits are in it. And it's huge. So on a result of 11, we're at 2,400 square feet. So a result of 11 is 1 exit. And then we roll here to find the direction. Hey, Sapper Joe, good to see you. We get a 13, which means it is on the right wall. I've got 60 feet. It's going to be right here, 10, 20. So we have another exit like this. And that's it for our chamber. I wish the doors would have told us about this. Because the next order of business is going to be what's in the chamber. We have to roll on this chart right here. Oh, contents, right here we go. Table VF. Result of a 5, it's empty. Okay. Let's check this passage here. Result of a 2 is continue straight. So that's going to go down to here and butt into this corridor where we have a one-way passage that looks something like this. Then we'll come back and we're going to bash the door in. Kablow, number 3. What's beyond it? So remember that Jeff Capes is really strong. No, it's Sir Argoth is very strong. He's got a 1874. He bashes doors on like a 1 to 4, I want to say. Space beyond the door is a 16. It's going to be a chamber. Check 30 feet after we... Okay, so this... Let's see how big the chamber is. Not sure you can trust dwarf intel. Yeah, that's good. Do you do the mapping? Jeremy Herndon says, do you do the mapping before creatures in the chamber? In my mind, it's figure out the geometry of the map first. Now that you got that down, then you can roll on the chamber contents. And if you're playing with a DM and a player, then you kind of have to go through the whole process before you reveal anything. But because we're doing solo play, we basically treat these as the order of operations. This is our program. Whatever order these tables come in, that's the order you roll on. That does mean that you run into some wonky situations, like there's a trap. Well, I have to know what kind of trap it is before I can go to check for traps. You know what I mean? Our room, as I said, let's figure out how big this chamber is first. On a 3, a chamber is going to be square, 20 by 20. So it's 400 square feet. And it's an odd shape here. So I guess let's just treat it as an antechamber that looks a little something like this. I don't need to roll for exits. So I'm just going to... Oh, no, I can't fill this in yet. Because there's this door down here that we're going to have to explore at some point. So we've bashed in the door. And now we check for room contents. On a 2, it's empty. All right, well, let's come back around. Oh, I got to check for wandering monsters. This was the chamber. And then I'm a little behind schedule on a 1. There's no wandering monsters. So then we can come down through here, and let's bash this door in. And we need a... Now, the reason I declare that is that if I fail to bash it in on the first attempt, then if there's anything inside, then they won't be surprised. Only we can be surprised. So that's why we do the door check. Behind the door is 5. A door. Wait. Periodic check. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kind of doing this wrong, aren't I? Space beyond the door. This is what I should be rolling on. Space behind the door is 4. It's a parallel passage or 10 by 10 foot room. So we have a little closet here. And now we can fill all this in. So kind of like a robing chamber for, or a disrobing chamber. I guess we could fill this in too, because there's no passages that open into this area. All right, and then this area too. So we've really kind of filled in a pretty good chunk of this map already. I'm really impressed with us, guys. We're doing great. But we got to do room contents too. Just wondering, as I'm considering my own solo run and trying to decide how I want to do my delves, I don't want to just copy, but input is good to get ideas with. Hey, this is inspiration. The reason I'm doing this is so that you guys can see how much fun it is, how valuable it is, kind of see where I stumble, and if you have other ways of doing it, then, Bob's your uncle, go for it. I still need to figure out what's in this 10 by 10 foot room, and on a result of a 12, it is going to be empty as well. All right, I ain't even mad, guys. That's fine. We can move quickly down the corridors. We're still avoiding where the were-rats were. No, we're alive. We're uncovering vast secrets. We can go here in about 10 minutes, and we can check what's down this 20 by 20 foot corridor. And on a result of a 17, we get stairs. Let's see which way they go. I rolled an 18. Oh, that's exciting, man. Stairs on an 18. They go up 1, then down 2. Wait, 18, 17? Yeah, total down 1. Chamber at end. Roll on table 5. Okay. So this, we're a little bit off the map here, okay? It goes up 10, down 20. We're on level 2, and it ends in a chamber. So I'll show you one of the tricks for this mapping, and this time I'm going in, baby, because I know there's a chamber. Where did my little map go? Oh, here it is. Okay, good. So let's do this the lineup way, okay? We put this here and this here, and it looks like, so that's how these two, it looks like our chamber is going to be off the level 2 map as well. All right, that being the case, what I'm going to do is discretion must prevail. I'm going to figure out how big this chamber is. Let me explain this to you. This chamber is going to be, we're going to go down to a dead end on level 2, and this will be a dead end level 2 chamber. Contains a level 2 contents, but I got to figure out how big that chamber is first. Because we're off our level 2 map, I'm just going to say it's a dead end. Discretion must prevail. Oh, it's the last refuge of the scoundrel, isn't it? Size. Rolling a d20. On a 13, we get a 20 by 30 foot chamber. So we'll squeeze that in as best we can. 20 by 30. And now we roll for the contents. Empty. So we have twice as much nothing in that level 2 chamber. All right, that took us another, here's my tick marks. We're 4 hours in. We're gonna need to break for lunch here pretty soon. We're checking right here. A 12 is passage turns. And on an 8, the passage will turn, what is it? Passage turn, see table IV. As a result of an 8, it turns left 90 degrees. So it turns like this, check after 30 feet. And now this room can actually be above that room, but I got to check and see if it's even a room. On a result of a 1, we have a dead end. It continues straight, and kablow, dead end. Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. Now the reason this is frustrating is that we have to burn another torch to come back down, and we're at since she fell, we're at like 17. All right, should we do a little more door bashing here, guys? I think so. Let's bash that door. On a 1 through 4, we got it. What's behind the door? On a result of a 9, it is a passage 45 degrees ahead. And on a 1, 2, 3, it's going to parallel. So it goes like this, 45 degrees. That's the direction the passage goes. and it will go 10, 20, 30 feet, and then something happens. We have a wandering monster check, okay. So as we get down here, I have a wandering monster and I have a wandering monster. That means I have to roll for 2 wandering monsters. Are you kidding me? Oh man, I hate this game. But I still have to figure out what happens to this passage. And on a result of a 7, I have a side passage, and that side passage is going to be 10 feet. On a result of an 8, it's going to be right 45 degrees behind, which puts us right back into this passage. So that basically means we have a weird corridor that has a secret door. And we have surprised or been surprised by, I gotta check, we got 2 bands of wandering critters. On a 17, we gotta roll on level 2. And on a 19, so we got 2 checks on the level 2 dungeon. Oh, that's treasures. That's not us. Oh man, what a long delve. Here we are. We gotta roll twice on this, and it could be our troglodyte friends again. I get a 21, and I get a 27. And on level 2, that's going to be characters and characters. See character subtable. Oh, man. All right, so we encounter another party of adventurers who are looting the dungeon. To simplify things, because I rolled it twice, I'm going to... It's not going to be a double-sized party. This is where we could be cheap. We could generate 2 parties, and we could decide whether they're fighting or not. Maybe we interrupt a battle, and we can wait for the survivors. That would be kind of cheap, though. I would feel guilty about looting bodies like that. Instead, what we're going to do is... Does it say see character subtable? There's dragon. Where's character subtable? Underwater... Is it on the wilderness chart? This is kind of fun. Table 5, race and class. Non-human characters and henchmen should be about 20%. This is a whole... Oh, here we go. Here. See, human subtable. Here's the character subtable. So that means that we've encountered a party of 9 people. Well, how many are there? Upper level. Number of characters. There will always be 2 to 5 characters. So there's going to be 3 characters in the party. And they're going to have 6 men-at-arms. The level of each character will be equal to that of the level of the dungeon through the 4th level. Wait. Through the 4th level will be equal to... All right, so we got 3 in the first party. You guys want to do 2 parties? All right, fine. We'll do 2 parties. And 2 in the other. It's 9v9, and they're going to fight, and I don't know what they're doing. Let's see what they think of each other. Obviously, there's character classes in there. But this is a very friendly dungeon, isn't it? I'm going to go to the... And just rolling on the reaction chart. I need a better... What is going on? I can't... This Post-it stinks. All right, page 61. Here we are. So I'm going to make a straight roll on this. This is how we use the dice to decide what's happening. What do these guys think of each other? And on a result of a 43... we have interrupted. They're uncertain, but prone towards negative. They don't like each other. We're going to make John mad and say, use the dragon's foot generator. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I had my laptop open and you could do all this in seconds, but we're trying to do the analog version here. So we got 2 parties, 9v9, and they're hostile. So my paladin slides in, and he says, hey, let's see what the first party thinks. 60 on a 90... They're friendly, immediate. The second party, on a result of a 94 is very friendly. So what we'll do is we say, guys, stop fighting. We're on the same team here. Why don't each of you tell me what's behind some of these doors? Give me a little bit more information, and then we can all go our separate ways. I tell you what, why don't you guys join forces and go down to level 2? I'll bet you there's a thief down there with a couple hundred gold. And that's basically what'll happen is they say, oh yeah, okay, so we're gonna make our rolls here to decide. I don't even care about that one. I mean, that's we don't know what's gonna happen there, do we? We tell each of these parties, you've been wandering through here for a while. Tell me what is here and what is here. All right, we're invoking the Paladin's privilege, and we are rolling. This is our reward for being peacemakers. We're rolling on this one first. And somebody says, oh yeah, it just goes, all we know is it goes 60 more feet. So there's your 60 feet. And then we're rolling on this second one where it goes 60 feet. And then we can go, and we know about the secret door, so we go here and we check to see what's there. And we're on to hour 5. Actually, we have lunch with those guys, so I'm going to burn another torch. And on a result of a 3, we have a door. Which again, I mean, the door is going to be right here, so we have a one-way door going in that direction. All right, we still can't get through here for another while yet. Let's check this door. Check this passage. 5 is going to be a door, and that door will be in the right wall, and then the passage continues. So that door is in that wall. And the passage continues for 30 feet. What does it say? Oh, it says check again immediately. I'm sorry, on table 1. It's going to be a sign. What? On table 1, unless the door is straight ahead. If another door is not indicated, ignore the result and check again 30 feet past the door. Okay. What am I missing here? Doors. Check again immediately on table 1. That's what we're doing here. This is a side passage. Check again in 30 feet. Oh, I get it. When there's a door, I think what this means is, when there's a door, check again immediately to find out what happens, like right here. And we have that side passage, which is 20 feet wide, and it goes left 90 degrees. So we have a 20-foot passage, and our passage continues like that. And then we can say, ignore the door. Let's see where this 20-foot passage goes. Burn another 10 minutes, and that passage takes us to a dead end. Walls left, right, and ahead can be checked for secret doors. We went 30 feet, so it's really kind of a room 20 by 30, but there's no contents, which is a problem. So we tick off another 10 minutes. And then we check to see what's here. And it is door on the left-hand side now. What is it? We went 30 feet, and there's a door on the left, and then we check again immediately. 13 is going to be passage turns, and with the result of a 4, the passage will turn left 90 degrees. So that takes us like this, 30 feet, 10, 20, 30, kind of hugging the edge of the map there. And we burn another, we're up to number 5, and then we go down this passage, and we have a side passage. The side passage is 5 feet wide, and on a result of a 5, that side passage goes left 45 degrees ahead. All right, so we have our normal passage, and then we have a little 45 degree, if it goes like this, which goes 30 feet. At this point, I feel like I should point something out to you. This is what our map looks like right now. The order of operations is important. If we had rolled this side passage first, which we did, it constrains what's behind the door. On the other hand, if we had rolled the door first, that would constrain what happens to this side passage. So the order does matter. I guess one of the reasons I keep getting all of these side passages instead of contents is because I'm ignoring the doors. That being the case, I'm going to go back to this door, and in the moment before that 10 minutes hits, I'm going to bash it down. And I succeed. The door goes down. What's behind the door? It's a number 7. It's going to be behind the door is a passage straight ahead. So that passage is going to take us back into this corridor right here. And we're still wandering around a maze, hoping to find some treasure. I guess we got luckier on that first shot than I thought. But the passage that intercepts is only 5 feet wide. So we have to set a new, if we're going to follow this passage, we have to set a new marching order because we can only go one by one. That being the case, I'm going to check for wandering monsters. We don't get any. And I'd rather explore this passage, to be honest with you. Because I don't want to deal with... man, this crowd rub deal fast. What's our torch situation? We have a total of 18, and we've only burned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're fine on torches. This passage goes... Oh, there's a door. And the door is on the right, which is this side, okay? And then the space immediately beyond the door is, check again immediately, is going to be the passage turns. And our passage turn is going to be a 13, which is turn right 90 degrees. Which is in keeping with our, so it looks like this. And there's our 30-foot passage. And now our door, we're going to kick it open. On a 5, we fail. If there's anything in there, we're not going to be able to surprise it. We fail again. And we finally kick it open with a result of a 4. Space behind the door is a parallel passage, or 10 by 10 foot room if the passage is straight ahead. Parallel passage would look something like this, I guess. And then it ends right there. So we come back around. So there's our 6th, and then here's our torch. We see what's beyond this door. Or we have a... Oh, the passage ends in a chamber. Check 30 feet after leaving this table. Wait, what? See table V. Chamber size, rooms, and shape. We get a 2, so it's going to be a fairly small chamber. 20 by 20, because it's a chamber. There's no doors because it's a chamber. It is going to be 20 by 20, and it's going to have... because it's so small, the exits of any size on a 17, it will have D4 exits. 3 exits. Well, if it's 20 by 20, one of those exits is going to be this 5-foot corridor right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 places where we have a potential exit. We get a 2, and we get a 4. So we have an exit kicking off in this direction, and we have an exit kicking off in this direction. And because it's a chamber, we have to... Oh, what's the exit direction? Oh, is it straight ahead? Straight ahead? That one we know. It's going to be 45 degrees left to right for this one, and 45 degrees left to right for that one. Oh, no. On a 4, it is straight ahead. So this one... We got to roll 1, 2, 3. It's up, and 4, 5, 6. It's down. So on a 1, this one actually goes 45 degrees ahead, like this. There's that exit. Okay. Still got to roll to see what's inside, and the result of a 2 is going to be empty. So we're going to find out where this passage goes. Periodic check. On a 1, it's going to go ahead 60 feet, which means it ties in right there. So we have our loop, and we've kind of filled in this whole section of the map. I don't know how many contents we're going to have to check before we hit something. I'm getting a little irritated here. This gets filled in, but we have a lovely little maze. I'll try to remember to clean this up and publish it as well. Got a 10-foot corridor. Going to round out that side of the map. Result of an 11. That takes us to passage turns. Result of an 11. The passage turns. The passage turns. Where's passage turns? Right 90 degrees. So, it comes up 10, 20, 30 to here. I guess it goes to there, and then it kicks back in this direction. and we find out what's at the end. On a 3, we continue straight ahead to the elevator room, where we have a 1 through 12 is going to be, what was that? One-way door. It's in the opposite direction. So there's a little 5-foot gap, but if you can make that jump, you can go, it's this way. So that's how you get past the elevator room. Not that it really matters to us. And then this gets filled in as well. So we got to come back around here. We're going to bash this door in. Come on, door. 1 through 4. Got him. So this was exploring the 1 and the 2 and then walking back. And now we get to see what's on the other side of this door. Space behind the door. 15. We get a room. And it is 14. It is rectangular. 20 by 30. All right. Well, since it's likely that we got a corridor here, our 20 by 30 feet is going to be the long way. 20 by 30 is going to make it 600 square feet. So on a result of a 9, just working our way down the process, the number up to 600 feet, inclusive, there are 3 exits. And we have to see what, 4 including the entrance. So we get a 15, a 3, and an 11. That means we get a opposite wall, 15, and then left and right. Okay. So there's going to be, and it's a room, so it's going to look like this. 2, 4, 6 on the top wall and on the bottom. And there's going to be 2 more doors. And searching this room, well, we got to find out what the contents are, so we go in process. Room contents. Roll on this chart. Treasure. Nat 20 when we needed it most, guys. My voice is giving out. We've been at this almost 2 hours. We have created this nice little maze. Look at that. I'll pull it down so we can see it a little better. Look at, oh man. We still have a lot of different exits to go, but we roll on table VG. This is what we needed, guys. See, this is what being a nice guy gets you, right? This is what pays off. We're being peacemakers. We're introducing the world to the dwarves. Table VG. Treasure. Roll percentile. This is it, baby. You want to take a look at that? It looks like this. I'm going to roll. And here's our big reveal. 33. We got the big 1,000 silver pieces. Oh, it's with Monster, you do 2 rolls. All right, but we're not done yet because we have to check tables VH. It is contained in... hey, you know what? 1,000 silver is 100 gold. I mean, that's enough. What is it contained in? 17. Man, I was really hoping for a big roll there, man. If we could have landed the gems or jewelry. Of course, there's only a 10% chance of that. So it is contained in iron trunks, and it is guarded by 18. Wait a minute, do we have to check that? Go to table VI. On a table of 1, on a roll of 1 to 8, go to VJ, and on a 9 to 20, determine, okay. Go to table, so we have to roll this first. On an 18, on a 9 to 20, determine the protection if desired. Okay. So because we rolled an 18, we check on what it's hidden by or in. And on a 14, it's behind a loose stone in the wall. At least they want to pay their upkeep in copper pieces. Yeah, but you know, it's okay. Let me write it down on the map. There's 1,000 silver pieces hidden behind a loose stone. I don't know where to write this. Okay, behind a loose stone. If we leave now, each of our fellas is going to get 10 experience points and 10 gold. Give or take. I can't stop. I didn't go through all of those wandering monster checks just for 100 gold. Now, I'm going to log it. We've got it. We're lugging it around, but I'm kicking in this door to find out. Well, first, wandering monster, no. Kicking in the door, no. Kicking in the door, no. Kicking in the door, no. 4, 5. You know what? I'm down to the 1s and 2s now. No. Okay. Finally, on number 6, who is this? I think we failed. So Jeff, Argoth, Schwolgar, Willikin, meh, failed. And then finally, we said, who's our strongest? Ho Lehman. We said to the cleric, can you kick this in? He's got a strength of 15. He kicks it in on a 1 or a 2. What's the space behind the door? Knowing full well that we can't surprise whoever's behind it, on a 14, it's going to be... space behind door is a room. And that room is going to be 20 by 20. And it is going to have D4 exits. Well, all right, here they come. 4 exits. And those exits are going to be in the 13. It's going to be in the left, right, and same wall. What? So we have a 20 by 20 foot room with 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the room of doors. And inside the room of doors is another 20. Oh my gosh. All right, I think we got to leave after this. More treasure. Putting it here. Open for 90. 86. 86 is going to be 100 platinum pieces. Yes. All right. 100 platinum pieces. And you saw me roll it. It's legit. We're out of here, guys. That's it. So we checked that. This was the first on our last torch. The day is getting long. We're 6 hours in, and we got to get out of here. So it's going to be, we can move at 5 times speed. Whoop! We are gone, baby. 100 platinum pieces is 500 gold. We got it. But we're not out of the woods yet. Perhaps I should say we're not out of the mountains yet. Oh, my notes are all over the place here. We have to get back to camp, and we have to make some checks. And yeah, unfortunately, my notes really are a hot mess. Because it's late in the day. But you know what? So first of all, let's check and see if what happened to our mules. We kind of left them hidden somewhere in a little valley here. On a 1 and 6, they were eaten. They were not. That's important because we don't have guards, so we got to check. We can proceed down the road that our caravan friends told us. So we are not going to have to worry about moving slow. We'll camp in the hills, and then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have to check once in the hills for an encounter, and we get nothing. Now we're on the road, and we're checking on 1 and 12. Is that how that worked? 1 and 12? I got to recheck my rules here, guys. 600 gold gives us, like, divide by 9. I mean, that gives us, like, what is that, like 50 to 60? We might be able to afford some guards now. All right, so in the hills. So we're going to start rolling on D12. We got to check the D10 while we're up in the mountains, okay? But we check once at night for hills and mountains. So we check once in the D10, and we don't find any. And then we have to roll on the D12 along the road for our day's travel. We're still in the hills, so we still have to check at noon and at night. So just 2 more times on the way home. We get an 11, and we get a 3. So no wandering monsters. We've made it back to town, and it was 1, 2, 3 was our delve, 4, 5 back. So we get back to town on, pull out my calendar. We started on the 27th. We delved we traveled in the day. We did an afternoon delve at the Ligmatic Cloister. And then we walked down a little ways. Nothing happened to us on this day. Nothing happened to us on this day. So October 2nd is going to be next up. Nobody took any damage. No resting is required. Well, that's not true, is it? We lost our buddy, didn't we? Oh, poor Bianca. We're running without... This is a problem. If we run into any traps, if that had been protected, if either of those monies... Oh, wait a minute. You know what? It occurs to me. We didn't check that, did we? Ooh. I don't think it's too late to fix this. I got the money, I got platinum in my eyes, and I gave up, but we're supposed to check. The treasure was contained in 16. It was just loose, no, it was in stone containers. So we pulled it out, but the treasure is guarded by, well, let's roll the D20. On a 1 to 8, it's guarded by something. So we're not out of the woods yet. It's guarded by 16, a trap door opening 6 foot in front of the container. Uh-oh. Now, we don't have any possibility of finding that trap because Bianca's gone. Who's in the lead? Where's my marching order? I got 2 guys in the lead. Swolgar and Jeff. Oh, man. Okay, so Swolgar and Jeff see the loot. Yeah, don't spend your platinum before you get to town. So we got to resolve this, right? A trap door open 6 feet in front of the container, and our guys didn't see it. So what does that mean for traps? Running the game. Let's see what Gary has to say about that. I think it's like a saving throw. Does he say here? We have a trap door opening 6 feet in front of the container. And then, is there a random monster encounter? Let me check the table of contents and see what kind of help we can get here. Oh, here come the jets. I wonder if you guys can hear that. Appendix G, traps, 216. That's what I was looking for. So, traps. Oh, that's just a list of possible traps. How about running the game? Is there a trap chart? There's a trap list on 216. Does it say how to use traps in running the game? The campaign, personae, construction, handling troublesome players. That's not going to help me out at all. I don't have troublesome players. All I have are awesome commenters. The adventure, aerial travel, invisibility, mirrors, detection of good, listening at doors. That's a thing. Combat. Thief abilities, player character, racial tendencies. Can you guys give me a reference, a page number for this? Where is this elucidated? Income trap text. Look on traps table in Appendix A. Alchemic raker, that's probably what I was looking for. So I did roll on, but Appendix A is this one, right? Start areas. And then I rolled here and I got what it's guarded by. It just says trapdoor opening. Oh, right here in this table. Oh, okay. Yeah, table 7 says the pit. Well, but this is guarded by. I think it would be better if this said it's guarded by a trap. Although that's a good point. Treasured C table VG. Let's walk through this again. So we got our without a monster. See also tables VH. Treasure is contained in, and I or J, which we got, was the trapdoor. And so if we look here, arrow trap, it just says pit. Oh, there you go. 10 feet deep, 3 in 6 chance to fall in. That's what it is. Okay. I got 2 guys that are in the lead. Swolgar and Jeff. They both have a 3 in 6 chance. So on a 1, 2, or a 3, Swolgar falls into the pit. He does not. He jumps out of the way at the last moment. On a 1, 2, or a 3, Jeff falls in the pit. He does not. He jumps out of the way. Okay, good. So we saw the pit. We jumped out of the way. No problem. But I do, before I forget, I should probably put that pit trap on here, right behind the door. is a pit. Now, if they had fallen, I do have rope. We could have got them out, but, you know, we would have to check for damage, and I think that would put them out. Where are my character sheets? We've been going for so long, I got just everything all over the place. Basically, we'd have to check for damage and see how much damage my boys took. Here we go. So just to kind of close the loop on that. Jeff has 7 hit points. Swolgar has 6. So if we rolled a 6 and he died, is it that they jumped out of the way or they didn't trigger it? There's you know what it is? It's that there's an open pit that they saw before they fell in. I guess, right? It's dark, it's shadowy. It's not like a trap. Is it a trap door? Is that what it was protected by, or was it just protected by a pit? It is protected by trap door. It is a trap door. They don't trigger it on a failed roll usually. Oh, okay. So they just like walked over the trap door. These are heavy guys, man. How they didn't trigger it, beyond me. They avoided the pitfall. Don't trigger it on a 4 to 6. So keep checking. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. What I need to do is go through each of these guys to see who triggers it. Yeah, she's still armed, so everybody's kind of wandering around now until the first guy hits it. So we got to check for Willikin, who does not. Argoth does not. You know, I just realized I don't have Matt in here. Matt came with us. I guess Matt was back here with Holy Man. Now I got to check my Wizards 3. Dinkle. Ronnie. So Ronnie, with the light spell, falls into the pit. His torch drops, and he takes... Oh, man, this is going to stink. 4 points of damage, but he's the guy that triggers it. Ronnie Dio has 4 hit points. He is knocked out in the fall. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. He's reduced to 0. Oh, boy. So that means we're going to have to use our Cure Light Wound spell on him, which heals all of him back up. Well, actually, we'll save that for tomorrow, right? But at any rate, because he's knocked out, he is not going to be available. We have to get him back home. And now I got to... Okay, so the reason this delve is important is that we travel here, and we travel on the 1st, and then Ronnie has to rest up. Ronnie is not going to be available until October 8th. So we're down one of our wizards, and we're down our light wizard. Light discipline is going to get to be a lot harder. But because he survived, he does get the experience points. We're closing in on 2 hours. Like I said, my voice is giving out. It's late in the day. I'm going to call her quits right about now. I'm going to retreat. I'll figure out all the experience points. I'll figure out how the gold is divvied up. And our next delve, it looks like we're going to have a total roster of 8. It's just going to be the 2 wizards, all 5 of our fighters. But the question is, this isn't the first time Ronnie played dead, says insert name here. So he didn't have to walk back to town. Oh, that scamp. Yeah, Ronnie is Ronnie Dio says, "Oh, I'm so tired." He's a prima donna. Hand to the and he gets a ride back to town on one of the donkeys, or maybe they build a travois, right? The little like stretcher. But they get him back to town, and we are there. Each of our guys. That's gonna be now. If he had died, if we'd rolled high enough, -4, I think is how we're doing it. If you could fall to -4 from a single blow, like 4 hit points worth of damage might have been enough to kill one of our wizards. Should we take a look at that real quick? I keep trying to get out. You guys keep dragging me back in. I love it. Now, our wizards are actually pretty good. Morcar even has 2 hit points. Don't we have a 1 hit point wonder? I guess we don't. Oh, because of the Constitution bonus. Anyway, that was a good one, man. We came out with like 600 gold. Our 9 guys are each going to get like 65 gold, 65 experience. We are going to have enough to pay our upkeep, and I think our next episode is going to wind up being an upkeep episode where we walk through the process of paying those bills and kind of going through what to expect and how we'll approach our second delve into the Ligmatic Cloister. We're probably not going to want to go down to level 2, but we do have plenty of blank spaces left on the map, and we generated all of this in about an hour and a half. R-dubs, well, now what do I tell the wife? The reason is I sat and watched you roll dice and draw. I'm not here for relationship advice. I don't know. Sometimes I'm here for relationship advice, but you're probably talking to the wrong guy when it comes to that. If I was any good at relationships, I wouldn't be playing solo war games. Except I probably still would, because I like you guys. I like this experience. I like the intellectual exercise. I know this is really different from conventional D&D. I know most people are all about the stories and I gotta pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm about the game. I'm about figuring the probabilities, rolling the dice, exploring, the world itself and the rules, exploring and seeing how this wonderful little algorithm that Gary Gygax gave us, this kind of analog computer, can give us very vastly different dungeons. This one is all passages and twists and mazes. The other one was like, really, it felt claustrophobic, right? I like this, man. I'm having a good time. I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm praying for you guys.